Welcome to Friday the 12th of July and a very special welcome to Jane, who's back. I'm back mixing epoxy. Hooray! The job this morning is first to fix the two bits of FR4 for the gate braces to the deck. I've got the angles set right, I've got the smaller diameter piece in there. So all we do first of all is fasten the FR4 to the deck, and then when that's cured we then put the tube into it. So that's all ground. I've taken off the excess epoxy from what I did on the deck, so that looks a bit better now. And this is a key next step in getting this gate fixed. A quick shout out to Sam. Your new forehatch is looking splendiferous. Good job. Next job is I'm going to shape these rather more attractively. I've proved they work, so it's time to adjust them and taper them, which will allow the panel to sit more closely to the rails when vertical. While I'm going to be doing that, we've got the 4 rail tubes here and Jane's going to fill them with thickened epoxy. Let's see some progress. I've got my 3 supports for the solar panel, shaped them a bit more, rounded the edges with the router, rounded out the holes, drilled these holes a couple of sizes bigger, so now the 3 of them are ready for epoxy coating so that we seal up that wood, and we'll get a couple of coats of clear epoxy on there, and then later we will paint them. While I've been doing that, Jane's been working on these guardrail posts for the solar. She's put very thick epoxy in one end and sealed it with tape, and now she's mixing and pouring in the slightly thinner stuff. It takes quite a lot of epoxy to fill those, so she's working away at that. It's the end of Friday. Let's see where we've got to. These 3 solar panel support things are coated with epoxy for most of their length. Tomorrow I can rotate them and coat the remaining bits I couldn't reach, and we have filled these 4 tubes for the rails with thickened epoxy. You just see there, that took forever, but it is done. And we had a nice little distraction that we saw Sailing Melody go past. So hi to Sailing Melody, he looked lovely, and look forward to continuing to follow your adventures. We're now absolutely worn out, so it's time for showers and dinner. And meanwhile, the next video has been uploading pretty much all day on my phone, so 3 mobile has been saturated with me uploading a 2-point-something gigabyte video. That will be coming out tomorrow morning, well, you'll have already seen it by now, tomorrow Saturday morning, as the next instalment, with a whole load of the guardrail stuff, including getting the starboard side gate from scratch. Okay, that'll do us for now. Sam, say hi to Turnip. Bye. Good morning. It's Saturday 13th of July, last day of our summer holiday, and although it's only just 12 o'clock, we've made some good progress already today. First of all, the braces for the new starboard gate. We've got the stub epoxied into the base, and this brace epoxied onto the stub for the forward one and the aft one. Then I've been preparing the rail supports for the starboard side. So we've got forward rail, the larger rail, and the aft rail ready to go on. That's going to be our next job. Just got to measure and mark the heights of where they fit onto the stanchions like these. And then the boss has been busy painting non-stop. I'm going to go down the ladder through our lovely new port side gate. Feels so much more secure than the old metal ones. We've topped off the 4 solar rail carbon fibre tubes with thickened epoxy, so they've got ends of the sort of structural microfibre at each end, and in between they've got the micro balloons. Jane's been busy painting. She's done another coat on the beautifully now sexy curved solar braces, solar supports, whatever we want to call them. The final coat of paint on the oven box and the shelf within it that the hob sits on. So that's all ready to dry now, and we can get on with doing the rails onto the stanchion, the rail supports onto the stanchion posts. It's quite a nice day here. There's already been a bit of drama on the beach where a very nice Romanian couple sadly didn't know how soft and thick the gravel was, so they came down the slipway and got to about there, and the tractor had to pull them all the way around there to get them off. So if you're coming to Gallows Point, unless you are crazy, which a lot of people are, us included, or you have a 4-wheel drive that you don't really care about, stay off the gravel beach. Okay, let's get on with some jobs. Okay, Saturday afternoon, Jane's just wetting out some glass fibre tape. I'll show you what I'm about to do with that. Meanwhile, we've fitted 3 of the 4 mountings for the solar panel rails. Because we put 2 on this stanchion post and they're at slightly different angles, we've put 1 on so far. We'll let that cure enough so it stays in place, and then we can do the second one and clamp it at the correct angle. What we're going to be doing with this glass fibre tape is finishing off these, well, finishing off the glass fibre work anyway on these stanchions. So the idea is to wrap, which will make sure that the FR4 is completely held on all the way around. Wrap it in glass fibre tape, and the same with, that's the most complicated because it's got the carbon fibre rail and the junction for the brace. This one's just the brace. So this should give good protection to the FR4. It means we're not just relying on a glue bond of the thickened epoxy. And once that's on and cured, we will be able to paint it. Okay. Jane will carry on filming when she's finished mixing. This always makes me very nervous doing something for the first time in front of the camera. So I'm just going to put some unthickened epoxy onto here. I know it's not a porous surface, but it just means, I hope, that it'll be even easier to put the glass fibre tape on and it stay in place. If we'd had glass fibre tape when I was in Scouts and we were doing pioneering, things might have stayed up really well. How do people talk while they're doing things like this?
Don't worry about the talking, just make a good job of it.
So the key disadvantage of the glass fibre tape is it doesn't deform and stretch like if we were using chopped strand. So then how you get rid of the...
Bit tricky.
Once the camera's turned off, it's a lot easier. So I solved the bagginess problem by just keeping a lot more tension on it as I put it on, but also because of this sort of triangular shape, I went underneath to start with, which just evened out the top and the bottom lengths, I guess. So I'm reasonably happy with that. I'm going to let it mostly cure and then just paint it with some resin so that we fill the weave ready for painting.
Okay, it's ready.
My next piece is ready, so I'll stop recording and go and collect it.
Oh, it's always easy to do the second one.
Even when the second one's a more complicated shape.
Well,
it seems,
because you've
yes.
done one already.
Right, I think
Oh,
we need another amount
Another
the same
piece.
for that one because I haven't covered everywhere.
right. I'll go do that then.
Nice bit of filler afterwards, and nobody's going to know that it's a bodge. Okay, let's do the last one. Don't fold up.
It looks a bit like one of those crepe bandages you have to practice with on your first aid course.
Yeah, nobody's going to come to me if they've got a broken leg, that's for sure. Hi, it's the end of Saturday 13th July and we're heading home from the end of our summer holiday. So we thought we'd just show you where we got to during this last couple of weeks. Starting on the starboard side. So first thing you can see here is we've taken up the Genoa track and filled the holes. We've taken off the original stanchions with gate braces and filled the holes from them. We fitted last two carbon fibre stanchions, and the braces for them have been epoxied to the FR4 parts and to the deck, forward and aft. We've still got to do to cut these short and make the brackets, the joints for them. But we've also, on the starboard side, fitted most of our sockets for the rails for the solar panels. So that one's on as the forward end. We've not put the aft end on there, it's just sitting here, and the reason is that we've got the forward end of the aft panel on and the two don't sit parallel. So until this one is set, we can't clamp, or it would just force them to be parallel. So we fitted that one. We fitted this one. We've done a little bit of improvement on these joints there, and there of the braces for the push bits posts. On the port side, all our solar panel rail fittings are on, and we have covered them all with glass fibre tape, and then some slightly thickened resin that we can sand off. So we should end up, when we Dremel out there, having a surface ready to sand and then to paint. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 stanchions all done, and we've been using this gate as a place for the ladder, and it's been working really well, so very pleased with that. We've got the 3 guardrails which are made for this section. We've got 1.5 made to go aft from the gate. We don't need a top one because we've got the solar panel rails, so it's just the middle and the lower one, with one exception, which is just at the aft end here. We'll need to create one from there, so that means we've got 2 for the aft section here to create and 3 for the forward section. Basically what we feel is we've got to the point where there's 1 day's work in the dry to finish these solar rail supports and make the joints here, and then a day to paint all the stanchions and rails, at least with a primer, so they'll be protected from UV, start looking better. We're not going to be building anything across the stern until we've got the mizzen mast up, because the height of that is critical. We've got to build the traveller for it as part of the solar arch. We've got 4 carbon fibre tubes here that have all been filled with thickened epoxy. That's the rails for the solar panel. And back here we've now got our beautifully shaped supports for the first solar panel. So that bolts to the solar panel, and then the carbon fibre rail goes through that hole so that it can swivel up. We have a plan for the supports to hold the solar panel in its up position, but we haven't divulged that yet. It may not work. Down below we've had the galley box for the cooker and microwave, hob and microwave, is all finally painted. We're leaving it as long as possible before we carry it on board, so that we're least likely to dent the new paint. And that's basically what we've done on deck. But the other thing that we've been working on in between times, particularly when it's been not very nice, has been the galley. So let's quickly nip down and show you where we are with the galley. Oops, not sure which way to point the camera when you're going down the steps backwards. It's a complete mess because we're just finished dinner.
Oh, yeah. Oh dear.
So the main thing that we've been working on during this holiday is the boxed in area that goes behind the hob. So the microwave will be higher than that. The hob is level with here in its gimbaled box, and so the slope there is so that the box, as you heel, it hits this piece of wood and the hull all at the same time. So although you might be saying, oh, it doesn't look square, it's square to where the box is, so we maximise the storage. And we've got one quite good sized cupboard there that goes underneath this. This is connected to our dry boat dehumidifier that we're using as a galley extractor. And then you have this tall way in here. You can get your arm down there and under here, so all of that space is usable for stuff that you don't need very often. And then most importantly, we've got one shelf here for coffee stuff. I've got the sort of doors for these, but we've got to make the latches and the little retainer. And at that point the microphone died completely suddenly, no idea what, so let's catch you up. In that lower cupboard you can see the place where the sockets will go, and that I was pointing to the hole where the wires will come out for the hob and the microwave. You can reach through that hole to the bottom of that lower cupboard, and we will be wiring them up. The challenge is that the wires are not very long from either the microwave or the hob, so it'll go to that socket, then the wire will go down, and I've got this conduit to go behind the cooker, and that takes it through into the aft locker. And then, because you can't reach the switches in that cupboard easily, we're going to put a fuse spur switch here, which will connect for allow you to turn off the hob and microwave if you get a chip pan fire. Not that we ever cook chips, but anyway, feel safer. And then from that we've got to route to the main consumer unit, which is going to move. Now the whole chart table area is going to be stripped out. We're going to have a new doorway, and that will be the door into the aft cabin. Not much is certain about that yet, but we'll mount the consumer unit somewhere there. Oh look, now Jane and I were summing up where we got to in our holiday, talking about the jobs still to do, and starting to give some little hints that we are going to be redoing the saloon, and we are coming up with something even better than Uma are doing with their nook. We're having a multi-purpose convertible nook thingy, maybe, thinking about it. So we had a good holiday, despite the fact of losing quite a few days to rain and quite a bit of time to travelling to and fro. Hope you like the progress. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.
Bye.